Kempire is brought to you by
The Kempire After Dark live experience returns to New York City this Friday, February 21st for Black History Month. We're going to be talking about everything in Housewives, Hot Topics, Diddy, Jay-Z, Wendy Williams, and so much more. And don't feel like you're left out because for the very first time in a while, we will also be making this available via Livestream. Get your tickets today. All ticket information will be available in the episode notes. I will see you soon, New York City.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Here we go now. Apologies for being 10 minutes late. Look, I forgot my water bottle. I was trying to make sure everything was working. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, guys. Only 2 more days until the Kempire After Dark live experience returns to the Green Room 42 here in New York City. It's the only show where you will have a live stream option. So shout out to those of you that have already gotten your live stream ticket. But if you are in the New York City tri-state area, get your tickets so you can meet me in person for the Kempire After Dark live experience. Just an update for those that have meet and greet tickets. We will be doing the meet and greet after the show. So stay tuned for that, okay? And shout out to our King's Guards for getting you guys all up to date in regards to the live stream tickets. I saw that in the live chat, so thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. It is a subscribers-only live chat. Okay, so shout out to all of you. So Scotty says she's watching in Queens in her cubicle. I love that. Shout out to everyone watching. We appreciate you guys. Be sure to let me know where you're watching from. That goes for the replay crew as well. All right. So this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If you had to rate this week's episode from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I have to say, no matter what side you might be on, and again, you're watching an edited show. If you missed our Married to Medicine, not our recap, we did a recap on Monday, but if you missed our special episode that we did yesterday, I had to really emphasize that because people don't realize how much context will change everything. What I can appreciate about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is that we get a little bit of context from their after show. And I went on Twitter and I said, after watching the after show, Bose... It's quite telling, but I've been saying that. I've been saying that for weeks in regards to what we hear Bose say in the after show versus what we're seeing her say, on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and when she's in front of certain people. But we're gonna get into it because I'm gonna be twerking on a fence a lot. I'm gonna be coming to the defense of Dorit. Yes, I'm going to defend Dorit this week. I am Team Dorit. I am Team Bozoma St. John.
Lies! The lie!
Damn, I couldn't even fake it. I'm not Team anyone. Again, we don't know these people, and honestly, I'm not that invested. Because, as I've said before, especially with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a lot of what you see is orchestrated. A lot of what you see is pre-produced. A lot of what you see is not real. More so with this show than maybe a lot of the other cities. Just saying. But they're keeping me entertained. Do you guys know, for those that watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on Peacock, do you notice in comparison to the other cities, they always give like a minute and a half extra to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I was like, oh. I notice it every week. I'm like, it's 43 minutes and something seconds? Okay, fine. But anyways, so I did watch the after show. I actually watched the after show almost twice. This is another reason why I was late. Because I just wanted to remember some of the things that were said. So I will be mixing some of what I remember from the after show during the recap, okay? So the top of the episode, we still have Kyle, Garcelle, and Sutton in Augusta, Georgia, with Reba. Do I still have my Wackaweeza picture here? Please hold. Where's my Wackaweeza picture? Oh, here we go, Weezer. Yeah, I haven't forgot about you, Weezer. Wackaweeza. I do want to say we are still praying for Teddy Mellencamp. You know, last week that we mentioned to you that she had posted on her social media that they had found tumors on her brain. So she just recently went through surgery. Kyle and a bunch of her other friends, including her estranged husband, have been there by her side. So we're going to continue to send prayers to Teddy and her family during this time. No matter how you feel about Teddy, this is where people really show their human side, if you have one. If you have a human side, we all will continue to pray and uplift Teddy as she goes through this journey, and especially uplift her family as they continue to support her through this journey. So I saw Kyle was on, her Amazon Live, talking about how they're taking turns spending the night and being there for her. That's a real friendship between Kyle and Teddy that we know is real. We're just going to leave it at that, okay? Let's continue to pray for Teddy. So the top of episode 12, we have Kyle, Garcelle, and Sutton still in Augusta, Georgia. So Garcelle and Kyle admit to Sutton, well, we were, eavesdropping on your conversation with Reba. They flash back to them eavesdropping. Sutton knew you guys were eavesdropping. You were not subtle. Especially you, Avi. Avi literally is like face to face with Sutton, but turns and runs. Sir. If anything, Kyle was probably maybe a little bit more convincing because she ran up the stairs and then she says, I'm coming subtle down the stairs. So they admit to that, but they don't realize as they're talking about Reba, Reba's coming in the house. But Reba is slick. Reba doesn't announce herself. Reba is just like this, coming in, very quiet and listening. Because Garcelle and Kyle wanted an update on the conversation that Sutton had with her mom. And Sutton was giving them the update. It was actually really good. But Reba comes in and they're like, good morning, Reba. How are you? Garcelle. Reba's like, I'm well. You seem very chatty this morning. Ooh. Have you ever been caught talking about someone like that? I don't recall ever being caught like that, talking about someone in person like that. But that was interesting. Garcelle's like, yes, we are very chatty this morning. Okay. So Sutton says that she hasn't felt this good about her relationship with her mom since her sophomore year in college, when her mom came to visit her for like Mother's Weekend, and they had such a good time. They were talking. Garcelle said this last week, and I do believe that. I think the relationship that Sutton had with her father, her mother was jealous of it. It's not that she didn't want to have a closer relationship with Sutton. I think she just didn't know how. And that would be interesting to understand Sutton's mom's mother and daughter relationship and what that was like. Okay. Oh, so it said Reba was returning the favor when she snuck in the house, eavesdropping, just like this. Mind you, I'm trying to picture where she was in the room that they couldn't see her. There must be like a little, situation where you couldn't see her. She walks in and then she's sort of like, you could tell she's like, oh, they're talking. Let me listen. Southern women, they love a good gossip, okay? So she's like this. What are they talking about? Oh, they're talking about me. Let me wait a minute. Oh, hi, Reba. Good morning. How are you today? I'm doing just fine. You seem very chatty this morning. I don't know about y'all. I really, really enjoyed this Augusta trip. And I'm glad they kept it. I wouldn't have chosen Kyle in my head, but I'm not friends with these women. I wouldn't have chosen Kyle, but I think Kyle was a good buffer. We already knew Garcelle was going. It would have been really interesting to see Jennifer Tilly. Sidebar, there's a story out there that the entire cast hates Jennifer Tilly. First of all, I don't think the entire cast hates Jennifer Tilly. I think maybe just Dorit, because apparently Dorit doesn't follow Jennifer Tilly. Jennifer Tilly's not losing sleep over this, I promise you. She's a Virgo, too. She's not losing sleep over Dorit not following her or being her friend. I don't know what may have happened amongst this group, but I don't think she's losing sleep at all. But anyone else? I really enjoyed the Augusta trip. Can we go to Augusta next Because first of all, she has a house there, Sutton. And look, Reba will be there, but she has a big, beautiful house. I wonder how many rooms she has. I forgot how many rooms she said she has. Maybe she couldn't host all the women there, but it's a big, beautiful house. But anyways, but maybe they can go back. I don't even think I realized that Sutton had a house down there in Augusta. All right. So Sutton feels good about her relationship with her mom. Reba says that she'll be sad that some of you are gone. Here's the thing. I think people take Reba's hard edge side. I think last week's episode and this week's episode, we see that Reba is not so tightly wound or so cold as she seems to be. At least that's what I got from these last couple of episodes. And she was really like giving it to all of them, but in like a funny way. She still had like the smile on her face. So Reba says that she will be sad that some of you are gone. She's not going to be sad about Garcelle being gone. Sidebar, I think it was in last week's after show, Sutton says, well, Mama wants Garcelle to pick her up at the airport. Y'all know what everyone was saying. Not driving Miss Daisy. Come on, driving Miss Reba. I can't help it. Wackaweezer. Quiet as is kept, though, if you were a fan of Steel Magnolias, Weezer was at least one of my favorite characters from Steel Magnolias. Just saying. Anyways, is that just me? Fine. Anyway, so Kyle says that she's usually happy. I look, I hate the fact that y'all are making me defend Kyle this week. But I felt for Kyle this week. A little bit. Because I understood. She says normally at the end of her trip, I'm excited to go home. But now she's going home to be alone. And part of her wants to say to Sutton and Garcelle, do you want to extend the trip? I'm starting to feel sorry for Kyle. Just a little bit. Just a tad. I'm guessing the relationship with her and Morgan fell apart, even though Morgan was there at the hospital too. But Morgan has developed a friendship with Teddy as well. So I kind of felt for her, though. I felt for Kyle. She says usually she's happy to go home, but now she's going home to be, in an empty house. Anyways, Sutton says that she's going to hold her mom to saying, I love you at least once a year. And Sutton says to her mom, I love you. And then her mom returns it. Well, first of all, her mom joked about, well, once a year, I might just write it down on paper and then, So she was cracking jokes about it. But when Sutton says that she loves her mom, she says, I love you too. But not like that. I said it more sincere than Weezer said it. I mean, Reba said it. I said it more sincere. She would say, well, I love you too. And then she has a little bit of a grin. And then they do a little bit of a group hug. I'm sure poor Reba. Reba was like, oh, Lord, here we are. I can't wait for these women to get out of this damn house so I can get back to being miserable. No, I'm playing. So they do a little bit of a group hug, and I was like, this is sweet. And Garcelle's like, I'm going to make you love me, Reba. I think actually Reba probably ended up liking Garcelle more. Garcelle is a Sagittarius. I tell you, they have like this childlike energy. You can't help but love a Sagittarius. Would I date one? Probably not. No offense. We don't need to date. I still love you. Come on. I love you. I don't know if I would date one. I say that now, but some of you are Tauruses that have dated Sagittariuses. But what's so interesting? This is why I always bring up astrological signs. Garcelle is a Sagittarius, and Sutton is a Virgo. What was Reba again? A Cancer, right? Reba said she was a Cancer, and Kyle is a Capricorn. Very interesting house. I definitely think that Reba probably ended up liking Garcelle more than she liked Kyle. Because Kyle, again, is a little... People say that Kyle is cold, but I kind of understood where Kyle... Not me defending Kyle. Lord have mercy. I love you. This is why I say be team no one, okay? No, but I kind of get where Kyle's coming from, and this might be an earth sign thing. Virgos, chime in. We're not people that you can just sort of be like, oh, we're best friends. We're not like Bose. Okay? We don't have 194 best friends. It takes a little bit of time to warm up to, I guess, earth signs in general, because I can relate as a Taurus. We're not just buddy-buddy with everybody. It takes a little bit of time. And I think that's where Bose was kind of getting cold from Kyle. We'll get back to that. All right? So we have that little opening scene. Speaking of Bose, so Bose's cousin, Tina, comes over. I didn't realize that Bose had a bunch of sisters, but we haven't met them yet. We've only met her cousin. But she says she's actually very close with her cousin, almost like her sister cousin, almost like Tisha and Kiki. So her cousin comes over. First of all, I love going to Bose's house. Beautiful home. She knows how to host, okay? So she's putting a little sprinkle of the gold in the drink. Probably that drink was so refreshing. Her assistant's there, bedazzling her mirror. She's like, my mirror needs to shine like I shine. Okay, Bose. Uh-huh. Coco says, OMG, Kempire's defending Kyle. We about to get a blizzard. Just saying. Anyways. So she updates her cousin Tina. Gorgeous. They both were gorgeous. Just the colors that they were wearing. I was just staring at them like, oh, gorgeous. What am I looking at right now? Bose with the beautiful, luxurious locks. Tina with her braids, and then the colors that they're wearing, and then the skin is popping. I was like, okay. What did you say? I have to rewind the scene because I'm just taking everything in. And the drink looked refreshing. So she says that she's closer with her cousin Tina. So Tina arrives. They go in the back, and she's giving her an update on Keely. And we flash back to a month earlier where Keely says that he wants to have 1 to 3 babies. So this opens up. First of all, they have this fertility specialist coming in that's going to take samples. And here's the thing. At this particular point, Bose and Keely have not said, I love you to each other. Asawi, I love you. They have not said, I love you to each other. But they're going through this process. Do you need to say I love you in order for people to know? Well, okay. See how the stories connect? Bose and Keely haven't said I love you. We're talking with Sutton and her mom about saying I love you. Garcelle reflecting on 3 little words, people not saying, but it has so much power. I think everyone's going to agree. Before we start talking about marriage, before we start talking about having a baby, before we start giving samples of my goods, we probably should have said I love you. Maybe. But I think some people just feel it, and sometimes they probably didn't even realize we never said it. I'm guessing. I've never been in a situation where I felt it and never said it. Just saying, asking, okay? So they're talking about that, and then we find out this heartbreaking story about, because at first I was sort of like, well, Bose, you have so many options. You don't necessarily have to carry the child yourself. You can have a surrogate, but some women want that experience. And I can only imagine, as someone that cannot have that experience, how, yes, there are challenges and every pregnancy is different, but the miracle of what you're doing and giving birth, and like, shout out to the women, okay? I couldn't do it. Look, the minute I get a little pain, I'm the biggest baby. Maybe. I'm not really that big of a baby. But yeah, look, back to this. So she opens up about her first pregnancy. So she had a baby girl before, but she lost the baby girl because she had, preeclampsia? So she describes that story, and then I understood even more why she wanted to have a baby again, because when she had Lael, she was so scared of what happened right before, because after she lost her first baby, she said, I want to try again. She's like, I want to be a mother. And she was so scared during that pregnancy that she really did not enjoy her pregnancy with her daughter. So I think this next pregnancy, she wants to be able to enjoy it. The only thing is that we're talking about, she just had the fibroid surgery. She's a woman of a particular age. I just don't know how you could be able to enjoy it because of all the risk factors. But she wants to do it again and have a different experience than she did with the last couple of pregnancies that she had. Understandable. Sidebar, I remember Candy from Real Housewives of Atlanta talking about being worried about not feeling connected to her baby, Blaze, because she had her via surrogate. And she says Blaze is so connected to her now more than ever. And she was so, she was concerned that her and Blaze would feel disconnected because she didn't carry Blaze herself. But she's like, Blaze gets so upset when she's not around. So I say all that to say these are all things that I know a lot of people can find relatable, because I know there is a small sector of people like, oh, here we go with another housewife and a storyline about a pregnancy and a baby. Y'all do realize that every day there are people with this exact storyline in their lives. Like, this is their life. I know 2 friends having babies, and they're having babies in different ways. In very different ways. Literally, they are having babies this year. So this is an everyday feeling that I think people go through and will watch and find relatable. Also, the whole fibroid conversation. I know someone going through a fibroid surgery. So a lot of what they're talking about is real every day and important that we continue the conversation. All right. So she talked about that. And I thought that was interesting because, again, we're learning a little bit more and more about Bose. Bose is new to the show. So there's still a lot more to unpack. Okay. Cece says, how old is Bose again? Bose is 48 now. I think at the time of filming, she was 47. Again, I always remind you, there are women every day having children in their 40s and 50s. Okay, maybe not every day. But it happens, okay? It's definitely going to be high risk, okay? Mackenzie says, and Blaze, Candy's baby, is her twin. Yes. If you look at old pictures of Candy when she was a little girl too, twins. I mean, the genetic material is there. Anyways. All right. Moving on. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay. Don't forget, I will be talking about things like this. I'll be talking about Diddy. I'll be talking about all the little hot topics. People that are talking. We're going to talk the talk at the Kempire After Dark live experience here in New York City this Friday. Get your tickets if you haven't gotten your tickets already. If you've been waiting, I don't know why. Get your tickets, and I will see you all there. Our friend, the Brooke Ashley, will be joining us as well. The Brooke Ashley and I will also be live tomorrow, late afternoon, so stay tuned for the link for that. We're going to talk some Real Housewives of Potomac, and we're going to talk some Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as well. All right? All right. Let me see. We had a couple of super chats. Amy J, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Amy J says, Steel Magnolia is my favorite movie of all time. It's definitely one of my top. It's not my favorite movie of all time. That still will probably always be The Color Purple. The first one, the original, not the musical. Musical movie? No. But yeah, it's definitely one of my top. Ariana, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. She says, don't date a Sag. I'm a Sag woman and men are crazy. Damn. Damn, Ariana. Keith Talks, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, as a Virgo, I can attest that we may seem cold at first, but only an idiot would be vulnerable with a stranger after 2 weeks. Spoken like a true earth sign. So it must be an earth sign trait, because I feel like Capricorns, Kyle's a Capricorn, and they're saying that she's cold at first. I'm saying how I feel as a Taurus, and now you're speaking as a Virgo. So it must be an earth sign thing. We're just very down there. He said only an idiot would be vulnerable with someone that you've only known for 2 weeks. Like, that makes complete sense to me, but I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, harsh much? I understand. Okay. So Erica FaceTimes with Kyle, and this is where we found out that Erica was the one to tell Kyle that Bose had told Kathy that Kyle has been cold to her. And Kyle is so confused by that because she, in her experience with Bose, she felt the complete opposite, which can be true. I told you this before. I'm sure there are people in your life that think you're their best friend, or you're a friend and you probably view them as an associate or just a friend or just a party friend. or not a friend at all. But Kyle said that has not been her experience of Bose. Based on what we're watching an edited show. I always have to give you this disclaimer. We're watching an edited show. But based on what we've seen of the show, I was a little taken aback when Bose said that to Kathy. First of all, you're saying this to her sister, who she's had an estrangement with on and off for years. And again, Garcelle has said this about Kyle before as well. Based on what we saw between Kyle and Bose, literally we saw Kyle go to Bose's home while she was recovering from surgery. I wouldn't have thought that she would have said, "Oh, I think Kyle is kind of cold." Cold? The woman that sent you flowers when you were in after surgery and then came to check on you? The math is not, you can still be a cold person, but based on what we've seen, that is not the vibe that I got from Kyle. But okay, I wasn't getting cold. And then to say it to her sister who she's had an estrangement with, it'd be different if she was saying it to one of the other women, but you're saying it to her mama. Basically her mother, though. Let's be honest, Kathy is sort of like a mother figure to her sisters. But you're saying this to her sister. Just saying. All right. So they're all getting ready. They're all getting ready for Dorit's 4th of July party. Okay. Who were these people at the 4th of July party? I was wondering. I was like, who are these people? I saw a couple of the kids. I saw Dorit's kids. I'm like, who are these people? But fine. So Dorit is getting ready. She's with her daughter. She's taking a tour so we can see everything. Then she goes upstairs, I guess, to put on some more accessories or whatever it may be. Sutton arrives, and Sutton awkwardly is just like, hello. Hello. No one's there to greet her. Not a hired hand, not a waiter, nothing. No one's there to greet her. So she's like, well, I don't know them outside there. And then she sits down and she's like, well, I guess I'll just wait. The time's ticking. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. 39 minutes later, well, before 39 minutes pass, Kyle arrives and she's like, oh, I felt excited for Sutton in that moment because it's like, oh my God, I felt the secondhand awkwardness of just sitting there. Everyone's out there partying that you don't know. You're waiting on the host. And then you see someone you know and it's like, oh, hey, Kyle, what's going on? Kyle points out when she walks in, she's like, what is this? Because she notices on the table in the foyer all these pictures of PK and Dorit. She's like, what is going on here? Are we coming to like an anniversary party? Here's the thing. We have to remember Kyle and Dorit, aren't they, first of all, they used to be friends, but also, aren't they neighbors? I'm assuming Kyle's been over their house. Dorit's been over Kyle's house. So I felt like these pictures on this table was performative. And then when Kyle pointed it out to Dorit when she comes down 39 minutes later, she was trying to pretend, I've just been so busy that I haven't had time to, put any of these things away. I was like, I'm not falling for it. And I get it. Some of you have fallen for it. And that's fine. You have a right to your feelings, delusional or not. But I'm not falling for it. It's these little moments that stand out to me that I'm like, Dorit, you are so performative. If Kyle of all people wasn't the person to point it out, saying to me she's been over their house before. So this looks new to her. She's like, what's up with all these photos here? So now this continues, the conversation, she can't get rid of the pictures of her and PK and blah, 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 which led to another conversation during the after show. She's like, so Bose, I have this big picture of me and PK in our bedroom, and when I'm laying in bed, I can see it across from me. And Bose is like, you haven't taken it down? Hell no. I'm sorry. I love you. Hell no. You haven't taken it down? I every week I say, I should just pretend like I believe. Let me pretend like I believe. I can't. The Taurus in me will not allow it. Okay? The Taurus in me will not allow me to be fake, phony, and a fraud. It won't let me be fake, phony, or a fraud. Okay? So I feel like it was performative. Of all the people to point it out when they first walk in, I thought that Kyle pointing it out said to me, oh, so Kyle has been here before and she did not notice this. Again, you've been to your friends' houses before, and maybe, see, that would be a question I would ask Kyle. Like, Kyle, you've been to our house before. Was it always like that right there? Maybe she'd be like, you know what? I never really paid attention. But Dorit's I've been so busy, I haven't been able to take it down. However, this leads to a conversation where Kyle says, I've put away some of the photos. She said this in the after show, but she says she's had a hard time taking down some of the photos and things like that. I mean, look, I've never been in a situation like that. I can imagine that would be hard. Have you ever been, look, this is like the dating show question. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe married, or shout out to our divorcees that are in the chat, maybe you've been through this. Do you take down the photos? Well, you know how us Tauruses do. We pretend you died. So, yeah. Sorry. And if we want to be really dramatic, we'll put in memoriam. Oh, come on. with a funeral wreath around it. And then eventually we throw it out. And scene. Okay? So anyways, I've digressed. Let me focus. So Kyle arrives, talks with Sutton. Sutton's like, I haven't seen Dorit. Dorit eventually comes down. 39 minutes later, Kyle points out the pictures, and she's like, I haven't had the time. Fine. She's been going through so much, only for us to find out about her hoarder's paradise upstairs. Sidebar, you remember that the home is supposed to be in pre-foreclosure. Was this a foreshadowing of her packing up and getting out of the house? You saw the boxes. It wasn't just her giving things away or organizing. I saw boxes, moving boxes. Is Dorit moving? You see Croy and Kim, they just recently sold their house that they got kicked out of. Okay. Moving along. Oh, Randy says exactly. The photos come down immediately. I've never been in that situation. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I've never been in that situation, so I don't know. I'm also not one to put up pictures and stuff like that quick either. But also, I've never been married. I'm sure if you're married, it's a whole different thing. You have your family photos. You've been with him for such a long time. Mind you, were the photos just of Dorit and PK? Or were they photos of her and the kids as well? Maybe it was a mix of both. I don't remember. So then I could probably understand maybe a little bit more. But again, Kyle, we've talked way too much about this. Let's move on because we have a lot more to talk about. Okay, I will be dropping the call-in link for members first. Okay, so shout out to our members. We'll be doing that on the post tab. So Dorit finally comes down. She has a conversation with Kyle and Sutton. She's like, of the two people to arrive first, these aren't the people that I would have exactly wanted. So she sees Sutton's bag and she's like, oh my God. And she's like, oh, you're going to let me have this? And Sutton's like, no, you're always taking my things. But it's like actually awkward. We have to remember the last time these two saw each other, they were not in a good place. That's something to keep in mind. I think we forget because it's weeks and weeks of other things happening. These two are not necessarily in a good place. So Dorit feels as if she's owed this bag. And it does become awkward, so much so that Kyle's like, I'm going to step away because this is getting weird. Okay? Because Dorit says that she thinks that Sutton owes it to her. So they go out to the back. Garcelle arrives. And Garcelle almost breaks her neck. almost falling. I'm glad she did not fall. She is a woman of a particular age. When you reach a certain age, we do not need to fall because we don't bounce back the way that we would when we were in our 20s or our 30s. Okay? So, but I'm glad she didn't fall down because one little fall can take you out. Okay? But Garcelle was fine, but I was not ready for that. I was like, oh, shoot. It's serious until you know that person's okay, and then you can laugh. It almost distracted me from Garcelle's outfit. Garcelle, I know you watch. Do me a favor. For the reunion, please get someone amazing. Candy stylist, Fantasia stylist. It's the same person. Get him, please. Or, I know Chanel's probably mad at me right now. Chanel, who's the stylist who styled all the ladies for the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. She styles Dr. Wendy Asefo. Get her. Do I need to connect you two? Yes, let's get our Caribbean gal, Chanel, to style you for the reunion and for next season. I saw her walk in. I said, damn. Every week I defend you, Garcelle, every single week. But you always give them something that they can drag you for. Okay? Every damn week. Got me talking through my teeth like Latricia from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Damn it. Rhonda says, Rhonda says, Garcelle dressed the way she usually dresses. Why are you surprised? Because we keep mentioning it and she keeps doing this to us. Anyways. Someone said Law Roach. I'm sure she knows Law Roach, but I don't know if the budget is, because he's styling, the heavyweights right now. And she needs a stylist for for a period of time. I'm just talking about the reunion. I'm sure he would do a fantastic job, though, if he did it for the reunion. But she's in LA. We have digressed. I did not expect to talk about the fashion, but I told you when she fell, it distracted me from the outfit. And then I was like, she's okay. And then I went back to the outfit and I'm like, ah. Anyways. Scherzer says, not me thinking the outfit was fine. Scherzer, stop. The outfit was fine. It was. For every day when you're not on camera, it was fine. For those that be like, Kempire, you should talk. You see my shirts. You don't see me with a full outfit, okay? And even when I have my live shows, I get a stylist. Wait till y'all see my outfit for Friday. Stylist, okay? But I'm also a man. We put on a suit and we keep it moving. But Jillian says Law isn't taking new clients. He did say that, but he is. Because I felt like he started working with someone new this week. I can't remember who it was, but he did a fantastic job. I remember he said he was retiring, but then, he's not retiring. Okay? He's in demand. Okay? What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Garcelle fell, but she didn't fall. She almost fell. Okay? So she goes, she sits down. She's like, hey, everybody, blah, blah, blah. And she sees that that Sutton's drinking a drink. She's like, oh, what are you drinking? Okay? And she says, is there alcohol in it? And then Dorit turns around and says to her, almost like I think that Dorit was trying to make a joke. I do believe that she was trying to make a joke with truth. A lot of people make jokes and there's some truth to it. She's like, is there alcohol in it? As if, going back to the accusations of Sutton having some sort of drinking problem. They flash back to 2023 when Crystal was there, Kyle was there, and she made that not even a joke. She made that comment about Sutton drinking. For us, I'm going to defend Dorit. Dorit wasn't in Augusta. If Dorit knew, and I'm sure she knows the story about Sutton's father, but it's not at her forefront. It's at our forefront. It's at Garcelle and Kyle's forefront. They were just in Augusta talking about her father, his drinking, his mental health issues, his unaliving. So all of them are a little raw to what Sutton has gone through. We have to keep in mind, Bose, Erica, Dorit, none of them were there. So none of this is at their forefront. So I'm giving them grace because they're not thinking about that. They all weren't there for what Sutton shared with them. And we have to also keep in mind, we only saw a smidge of what they filmed. So there could have been a lot more conversations with Garcelle and Kyle and Sutton about everything that Sutton has gone through with her father. So I'm giving them all grace that this is at their forefront. So this is why they're a little bit more sensitive to the conversation about Sutton's drinking. Okay. But Dorit makes that comment and she's like, Dorit, you're such a bitch. And she's like, really? Really? She's like, you know what? I'm leaving. How many, did you guys take a shot every time that Sutton said she was leaving and didn't leave? In all fairness, they were trying to, Kyle and Garcelle go after Sutton. Dorit doesn't like that. She's like, I can't believe they went after her after she disrespected me in my own home. And so they're having a conversation. Rewind that scene. When Garcelle was having a conversation with Sutton in the doorway of Dorit's home, and they were talking about the drink, and Sutton was talking about how bad the drink was, and Garcelle is just like, is the drink bad? Like, they had a couple little moments. This is why I love Garcelle and Sutton on this show. I don't care what anyone says, because it's these little comical moments that I find to be hilarious. Nothing to do with what's going on in the moment. They're making jokes about the drink and funny, comical for me. But they're trying to convince Sutton to stay. And Garcelle says, well, here's the thing. Sutton didn't even want to come to this party because of where her relationship was with Dorit. Dorit was like, you just called me the B word in my own home. You can leave. Kyle goes over to Dorit. Well, maybe if you ask her to stay. She's like, I'm not going to ask her to stay. Yeah, I'm changing my accent too, because that's how Dorit goes from English, New England to gutter snipe. I can't. She's like, I'm not asking her to stay. Okay, fine. Okay, so Erica shows up, and Erica's just like, what's going on? Because they're in the foyer of Dorit's home. She's like, what's going on, guys? I'm here for my yearly kosher hot dog. Okay. And Sutton's just like, she started with the vodka conversation again. And it seemed like Erica was being sympathetic towards Sutton as well. All right. Bose arrives, and she's also, she's in the foyer, and she's like, what's going on? She's like, what's happening here? Sutton's like, I'm leaving. What? Still, Sutton has not left. No one's really holding her there. Yes, Garcelle and Kyle are trying to have a conversation, but she has not left. Okay. So, Bose goes, to have a conversation with Dorit, and then she's having this conversation with Dorit, but she sees the women over by the foyer, by the door. And Bose is just like, what is going on over there? And she said, you know what? She's like, this is Bose's quote, I don't want to be left out. Despite her going over there and making it about them being rude and saying, why aren't you checking on the hostess? Instead of that, she said to Dorit, I don't want to be left out. So she walked over there. Pay attention to those words. Then she goes over to them. She's like, what are you guys doing? You're being rude. Garcelle's just like, stop being Dorit's spokesperson. Stop being Dorit's spokesperson. Garcelle said it in the after show. Erica says it in the episode. Garcelle, you of all people can't talk about being someone's spokesperson because you've been countless times a spokesperson for Sutton. Here is the difference. I'm not going to disagree with that. But here's the difference. We're talking about a year's friendship between Garcelle and Sutton versus weeks friendship between Dorit and Bose. Just saying. There is a difference. That's just how I feel. So Bose comes over. She's like, you guys are being rude. Don't these, she's like, don't these people have any coof? Any coof? You're being rude. In all fairness, and she's like, I'm tired. And she's like, you guys are coddling her. In all fairness, they were coddling her. They were. But I think the reason why they were coddling Sutton was because of the trip they just went on. I think Garcelle would have coddled Sutton regardless, but I think Kyle as well coddled her this time because of what she witnessed in Augusta, Georgia, what she found out about Sutton. I think that really did bond them a little bit more. Oh, Maxine says, false, Kempire. Sutton was jumped in those situations. Dorit has not been. Good point in regards to the moments where Garcelle defended Sutton. But I still, look, no matter how you want to take it, maybe she was helping her friend in the moment defend her friend. That's fine. Again, they've been friends for a long time now. I wouldn't mind my friend stepping in. But this friendship between Dorit and Bose is Johnny come lately. And we saw what Bose said as she walked over to the group. I don't want to be left out. I don't want to be left out. That told me everything that I needed to know in the moment. It had nothing to do with them being rude. She felt like the larger part of the cast was over here filming and having a conversation, and she wanted to be a part of it. She's like, I feel like they're being rude. Okay, then don't be rude. You're with the friend. Go have a conversation. They're checking on their friend. I don't know how long they had been there. It didn't feel like it was that long. Again, we're watching an edited show, but it didn't feel that long. If they're checking on the friend, okay, you arrived there with your friend and you're talking with Dorit, the host. Fine. She's like, okay. Anyways, so Sutton finally makes her exit. She's like, I'm leaving. She said, and then she says in her confession, I'm sorry your businesses have failed and mine is not. Look. She says, I'm sorry that you can't have a clean divorce, and I have. She then said, and I'm sorry for all of your problems are not my problems. Look.
What is this, honey?
I'm sorry. I love you. She says, I'm sorry your businesses have failed. And for those that say she closed her store, no, she went very much like what Macy's just did. They're closing more and more stores every single day. Bed Bath & Beyond closed, what was it, last year? All these storefronts are closing here in the States. I don't know why it seems to be thriving over there in Europe. She's now gone online, Sutton. So for those that want to come and say, Sutton closed her store. She closed her storefront. Her business is still open. Okay? Anyway, so she's like, I'm sorry your businesses have failed. Where's Beverly Beach? Where's Beverly Beach? What else has she done? I'm sorry your businesses have failed and mine is not. I'm sorry that you can't have a clean divorce and I have. With over $300,000 after taxes a month. And I'm sorry for all your problems. Your problems are not my problems. Ooh. So she makes her exit, okay? Garcelle goes to sit back down. She gets her drink. She's like, can I have a watermelon drink, whatever it's called? Before she went to go check on Sutton, she ordered her drink. She comes back. She got her hot dog, pickles, and her drink, okay? I don't blame her. So Garcelle says that Sutton left, and Sutton didn't feel welcomed. And Dorit says that, how am I supposed to feel after she called me the B word? And Garcelle points out, well, you started it by making that comment. And again, making that comment, and they show when Garcelle made a similar comment to Sutton, but that's her friend. The way that you joke with your friend isn't the way that a person that's not your friend and that you have beef with can joke with you. So she's not going to take, especially if you made an accusation that Sutton says that you never even apologized for. So Garcelle says that, Dorit, you started it. So Bose chimes in because she's a spokesperson. She's defending her friend. Bose chimes in and she says, those things aren't equal. Anyone that calls me the B word in my house, those are fighting words. And she says if Sutton came in with she says, in the spirit of sisterhood, she says, can we rally around Dorit? Okay. Why are we rallying around Dorit right now? I thought this is 4th of July. Okay. So she says that, can we rally around Dorit in the spirit of sisterhood? Garcelle says to Bose, you're talking about sisterhood? You just came over there and told us that we were rude. Mm-hmm. Garcelle says that Bose doesn't even know the full story, which I think is the problem for a lot of us that watch this show. I don't mind Dorit and Bose forming a friendship. It feels forced. Okay? But it also feels like she doesn't know. She's coming in on one side instead of coming in neutral. This is what I can appreciate about Stacey Rush on Potomac. It felt like she was trying to get to know everyone until they cross her. But no one has crossed Bose. And what I said on Twitter earlier in regards to watching Bose on the after show is quite enlightening. I was just like, yeah, because you're talking all this stuff here in the confessionals and in the after show, but when you are confronted by it, because when Garcelle decided to bring up, well, you talked about Kyle being cold, all of a sudden she's like, I said a little this and a little cold. No, you went to her sister and you said that she's cold. You might as well have said that she was a cold-hearted B word. Anyways, So Bose says that Garcelle says that Bose doesn't know the full story, and Bose says that she's calling it how she sees it, which I can appreciate, but it does feel like she's leaning more towards on a Dorit side as opposed to be like, okay, this doesn't make sense. This is when I talk about twerking on a fence, because 1 minute you're probably like, Kempire, whose side are you on? Because, well, in this particular situation, I feel like this person is right. When Bose says that they were coddling Sutton, yes, they were coddling Sutton. But I see why they were coddling Sutton, because they just came from a trip where they found out all this stuff they probably didn't necessarily know about Sutton. All right. Hold on. Maxine says busy Bose is definitely on the payroll. I don't know about that, but it's definitely giving that she's leaning more towards Dorit for whatever reason. I saw someone say, she's an Aquarius, and Aquarius usually will root for the underdog. I don't even see Dorit as the underdog. I see Dorit as a Karen. Dorit is not the underdog. Dorit comes from a place of privilege, which is part of the reason all these Johnny-come-lately Dorit stans forget why a lot of people don't like Dorit. Dorit is a Karen, and we don't say that lightly. You remember Child Bride? Remember that part? That's just one example of many. So she's not rooting for the underdog. Dorit is not an underdog. Despite her, they're like, well, I'm one from diversity. Y'all know all the stuff, trying to allude that she's coming from a place of diversity, very much like Garcelle. Come on, come on. She's not the underdog. Okay? Sass Kay says, Bose said that she had deep conversations with everyone. Huh? When did she have a deep conversation with Garcelle, Sutton, and Erica? And again, we're watching an edited show. We're not seeing everything that they filmed. So I'm going to give her grace in regards to that. Is that Queen Asia says, Dorit is far from the underdog. Carmela says that she's been carrying it on since. I saw what you did there, Carmela. Carmela says that she has been carrying on since Garcelle made an appearance. I shall not forget. Just saying. All right, let me focus because I want to get through this and get to some callers, okay? All right. Where was I? So this is when Garcelle I understood after watching it multiple times, but the initial time watching, I was like, why did Garcelle bring that up? Because Garcelle brings up how they found out that Bose went to Kathy. Kathy's also there. Kathy, and told Kathy that, I think Kyle is cold. Okay? So then this becomes a conversation between Bose and Kyle. Kyle says that she has felt the complete opposite in regards to her moments with Bose. She felt like her and Bose were connecting. Bose is like, no, I feel like you're a little distant and a little cold. Mind you, she's adding a little. That's not what you said to Kathy. She's like, I think that Kyle is cold. But you see how she's trying to soften the blow? No, tell her how you said it to Kathy. Kathy's right here. I will never understand why. It's one thing to say this to the other women, but it's another thing to say it to her sister. If you have a feeling about me, don't be running to my family members, because at the end of the day, they're always going to have my back. They don't know you like that. Anyways, Nelly says, thank you, Nelly, for being a member. Nelly says, Dorito is unaware and also has little to no emotional intelligence. Karen, it is. Yeah, the definition right there. Didn't I say I was going to defend Dorito this week? Damn. That lasted all about 2 seconds, okay? Velda says that Kyle has tried more than Bose. Literally, Kyle went to her house, sent her flowers after her fibroid therapy surgery, and went to her house. And maybe she went there to film a scene, but still, she still went there. It felt weird. Anyways, so Bose and Kyle have this conversation, and Bose says that Kyle hasn't opened up to her. Well, if you're watching the same show that we're watching, it feels as if, why would Kyle open? First of all, as Keith said earlier, as a fellow Earth sign, we're not open. First of all, we're not opening up to you in a matter of weeks. Secondly, we're not opening up to you when it seems like you're taking the side of someone that doesn't like me. Why am I going to open up to you? And yes, Garcelle has said this about Kyle before. But again, I think that's an Earth sign thing, because I don't see anything wrong with it. Miss Bernice says, don't ask my neighbor, come to me. Right? If you're about communication, Miss Marketing Executive, if you're about communication and having those hard conversations, why wasn't your first conversation with Kyle? Again, we're watching an edited show. Maybe she did. Maybe she did express this before, and we're just seeing this. I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way, because Kyle seems as if she doesn't understand. You know how Kyle could be sometimes, though. Anyways, so Kyle thinks that Bose is hard on her and says that Bose won't admit being biased towards her because it would seem juvenile. Yeah, because it's sort of like, why would you have an issue with Kyle? Like, there are plenty of reasons to have issues with Kyle. Plenty of reasons. And we would be able to hear it, okay? But it feels weird. It came out of nowhere. I think we all were sort of like, wait a minute, why did she say that to Kathy? Why did she? Okay. So Kyle thinks that Bose is being hard on her and says that Bose won't admit it because being biased, because it would seem juvenile. So Dorit says, I feel like I can chime in because I need a scene and this season's all about me. Yes, I'm back to my weird English accent. So she feels like she needs to chime in because they're talking about her, because the whole PK stuff came up. And they flash back a lot to different instances where Kyle is explaining why she's confused why Bose doesn't think that they're close. Then they show different moments where it seems like Bose and Kyle were getting along and that things were good. One thing I will give the editors, they are very fair in regards to dropping the different examples to give context to what each person is saying, no matter what side. At least in this particular episode, I noticed. So Dorit decides to chime in, and it gets really heated between Dorit and Kyle because like Kyle's like, stay out of this, Dorit. You're all up her. You know what? Let me have this conversation. This conversation is between me and Bose. So then this leads to a heated exchange between Dorit and Kyle. Okay. And she says that Dorit's all up Bose's you know what. And she says that she does say, because Dorit's just like, is the conversation that we had at Garcelle's house still true? So this leads them to at least resolving their, like, I'm not going to sit here and delve through all of what happened in their conversation because I don't know about you. I am tired of talking about Kyle and Dorit's friendship, non-friendship, whatever it may be. I am so done with that. So I was so happy that in the same scene that they were able to hug it out. And then they go upstairs because I guess it's really hot. You remember she checked the weather. It's really hot in Florida, in Beverly Hills. It's hot in Florida too. And they go upstairs and then we get to see the hoarder's paradise. Okay. So she's like, I just been so busy. I just can't, I haven't changed. I have been moving things around. She's moving out. Okay. She's moving out. I don't know. It just felt that way. I saw the moving boxes. You heard the stories about pre-foreclosure. Sidebar, during the after show, Sutton talked about, Dorit talking about PK and how she talked about him being an alcoholic at the very beginning. Oh, speaking of the after show and talking about the alcohol stuff. So Bose says in the after show, Sutton shouldn't take it anyway. This is why I said watch the after show. They're not paying me, but at this particular point, run me a check. Pay for my peacock. She says, Bose says to Dorit, of all people, she knows what you're dealing with. You've seen an alcoholic because of PK. So you should understand when she says that to you, that she doesn't mean it in that way because she knows what an alcoholic looks like. I said, here goes a representative. I said, what kind of logic is that, Bose? The fact that she knows that PK struggles with alcoholism and the journey that he's gone through with alcoholism and that he has to admit that for himself, she should be more sensitive not to allude or insinuate that someone might have an alcohol problem. Because I'm sure she also knows that Sutton's father was an alcoholic and was, treating his depression with alcohol. She didn't know the depth. It wasn't in her forefront, and I've said that because she didn't go on the Augusta trip. But she knows, because they all know how her father passed away and his struggles. Oh, Britt, I love this. Because I said this before. The minute I found out that Bose was a marketing executive, I said, Britt says, I love Bose, but remember her work experience. Eye emojis. I feel she watched and analyzed Real Housewives of Beverly Hills seasons before. That's why she's on Kyle's ass. Look, ass. Yeah. Do I believe that Bose would come on a show? This woman's very calculated. Do I think she would come on the show and not know what she was coming into? Come on now. Thank you, Mama Ali. Yes, self-medicating. Her father was self-medicating with alcohol. So she says this during the after show that I guess Sutton shouldn't be so upset because Dorit is living with or has an alcoholic in her family, her husband PK. So she should be you shouldn't be upset. She knows what that looks like. No, she should actually be more sensitive not to insinuate that someone has a problem with alcoholism. She should be more sensitive. So that already showed me a lot about Bose. Bose, you are trying to be her spokesperson. You are trying to market Dorit to this audience. She has become your project and you're trying to make the audience like her more. Please understand, I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. I'm glad I remember that part. Mauricio says, Sutton's alcohol problem runs in her veins, just saying. Here's the thing. If Sutton has an issue with alcohol, that is not something that a friend or even a castmate should weaponize or make a joke about. Because you making a joke about that is not going to be helpful. If you really want someone to get help, you don't even have to be their friend. If you want someone to get help, then you are supportive. You're not making a joke about it, a bad joke. But you're not making light of that, because that's real. Making a joke like that on this platform could send them in a spiral. Anyways. Guys, welcome back to the Kempire channel. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. And don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. Speaking of marketing, don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. All right. And don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience returns to New York City at the Green Room 42 this Friday. Our friend, the Brooke Ashley, will also be there as well. Ticket information will be available in the description. And if you can't make it because you live in another city or another country, that's no excuse. We've got people flying in. All right. Get your tickets today for our Kempire After Dark live experience. There is a live stream option available as well. More information will be available in the description. All right. We have quite a few super chats. I want to get to that before we get to the final part, because we see Kyle and Dorit leave the group and they go upstairs to Dorit's hoarder paradise. Okay. Not sure what's going on up there. I think she's packing because she's got to move out. Maybe. Or maybe she's getting the real goods out before never mind. Nia, thank you so much for the super chat. Nia says, hey, Kempire, I would keep in mind the whole time Kyle was at Bose's house, she was talking about Dorit, and it came off very sharp. To me, it looked like she came to Bose to not look like a bad person. Very true. That's also a possibility as well. But do you go to the friend's sister that she's had an issue with to have that conversation? Why not have that conversation with her? Or even if she had the conversation with other people in the group, I would understand. I was like, I feel like Kyle's a little standoffish to me. But you go to her sister and mention that. I feel like that was crossing a line. Don't be going to my family about this. Delon, thank you so much for the super chat. Delon says, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is starting to get annoying, especially Bozorito. Not Bozorito. Mama Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Mama Ali says, hold on. There have been fights where I've taken down photos and even deleted my hubs from social media. Not bad mouth. I'm a tourist. I have to be dramatic. OMG! You've taken down photos and even, taken down photos from the house? Or you mean from social media only? Because if you've taken down photos from the house, that's real dramatic. I'm just imagining Mama Ali just going around the house taking down photos of them. Agata, thank you so much for the super chat. Agata says, love Garcelle and Jennifer. Let's swap undercover volatile Karen for Jennifer and explore GB-JT friendship. Those two are fun. Sutton is just exhausting. Virgo. Okay. I mean, I don't think that's a lie. And look, in Sutton exiting this party, Kyle did call her out for her hypocrisy, because literally it was just a couple of episodes ago. She was like, Kyle, you can't leave the party. You can't walk out. Mind you, this is what she's doing. And again, she didn't want to be there. Fine. Mama Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Mama Ali says, no grace for Dorito. It was her party, her drink menu. She knew what she was saying and the hurt behind it. She is a B. I guess Mama Ali's in her villain era too. Delon, thank you so much for the super chat. Delon says, thank you for the super chat, Delon. Delon says, Dorito is on my last nerve. Everyone makes Sutton their punching bag when they are having a miserable time in life. She's easily triggered as well. Bose and her bundles interjecting was pointless. Those bundles are bundling, though. I do like her hair. Willie, thank you so much for the super chat. Willie says, the claws were definitely clawing this episode. Thanks, Willie. Trauma Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Trauma Queen says, every episode Sutton has a tantrum. Next week, she's going to throw another hissy fit. You're right. Again, Virgo. Can you imagine Beyonce behind the scenes? Beyonce's a Virgo. Key Talks, thank you so much for the super chat. Key Talks says, thank you for the super chat. Let me shimmy. Keith says, Bose is a follower. Period. You saw when she said Sutton should understand that Dorit is the last person to joke about alcoholism on the after show, like she wasn't making jokes all last season. Thank you, Keith. And thank you for becoming a member. So you just became a member. Miss Esquire, let me shimmy. Miss Esquire says, Bose has an alliance with Dorit. They don't have the history to have a friendship. The question is, how does this alliance benefit Bose? She's smart, so there's a reason. Agreed. 100% agree. Matter of fact, let me drop the call link for our members before I forget, before I get to these next couple of super chats. Thank you guys so much for the super chats, the VENMOs, the Cash Apps, the PayPals. I see those after the live, but we appreciate your support. Let me bring up this. Hold on, y'all. Let me just do this. Bum, 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 bum. All right. All righty then. All right, so if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to post a call-in link on the post tab here on YouTube. Live chat mods, let me know how many likes we should get so I can post it for the live chat. And Kita, thank you so much for the super chat. And Kita says, it's like they are trying to make fetch happen. In regards to Dorit, I agree. I've been saying that all season. They're trying to make her like the hero of the season. Agata says, thank you for the super chat, Agata. Augusta says, Kempire, you really don't like Dorito. I tried. I don't know these people, so I can't say I don't like Dorito. I can't say I don't like her. I don't like what I've seen of her on the show, but I can't say I don't like her. Thank you, Miss Esquire, for the super chat. She says, Bose defining weaponizing information very clearly earlier this season, and then did the same thing. Also, Dorit's children are also PK's children. Think about that. Not cool, but intentional. Here's the other thing. Dorit mentioned how this party is going to feel different without PK. And I said, PK is never home. Based on, look, we can easily clock how often PK's home because we see him all the damn time in the UK. He's barely home. She says, I haven't spoken to PK in 2 weeks. You haven't spoken to PK in 2 weeks and you have kids with him? Okay. All right. Your agent, Keela, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Says, not Dorit calling out Sutton when all of the Bravo universe knows her drink order. Hypocrite. I hate the fact that people know her drink order. I think it's so ridiculous. Agata, thank you so much for the super chat. Agata says, I want to shimmy. All right, Agata, because you're 10 euros? Right? Or is it 10 pounds? I can't remember. I can't keep up. It's 10 pounds. That's more than $10 here in the States. Let me shimmy for the euros and the pounds. Thank you so much, Agata, for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Guys, you can also support the channel just by liking today's video. We have 1,100 of you guys in here. Mods, what did you guys say in regards to how many likes we should get? I may have missed it. Remind me. All right. Let me get to the last part of this. Shout out to our members that are already backstage. So, Dorit and Kyle go inside. They go up to her hoarder's paradise. We see all the shoes are out. Boxes are everywhere. And she's like, my life is a mess. My life is a mess. Okay. So they sit down and they have a conversation. So Dorit is asking, sorry, let me take a sip. I've been talking a lot. So Dorit is asking Kyle about what's going on with Mauricio because she's talking about, when Mauricio first moved out, she thought that he would just get like staged furniture and things like that, but he's buying things. So for her, it's starting to look more permanent. And then she says she slowly moved some of his stuff out of the closet. She says she doesn't understand why she just doesn't take over the entire closet because now it's been like 6 months since they've been separated. Okay. So they talk about, for the first time in a very long time, it seems like they're both opening up to each other because when they were downstairs, Dorit, one of the things she says to Kyle, she's like, I don't really know what's going on with you. And Kyle's just like, what? She's like, I really don't know what's happening with you. So they go up and they have like a sister moment. And they're sort of talking about what they're both going through. So we get a better understanding as to what's happening with Kyle and Mauricio. A better understanding I use loosely because you know Kyle. Because Dorit is like, so are you guys going to get a divorce? So she doesn't want to say that, but she also says that Mauricio says it's too soon to be talking about a divorce. Is it? You guys have been separated for 6 months. Probably now like a year. Is it too soon to be talking about a divorce? Here's the thing, though. There's a lot of money that they have to talk about. More so on Mauricio's side. He's done very well with the agency. And if he divorces Kyle, they started both with nothing. And they've been married for over 10 years. Because remember, they were talking about that. So she would probably, there isn't, California is a 50-50 state. So Kyle would end up getting a lot. Why would you care, though, Mauricio? You grew up with this woman. You both came with nothing. I'm like, fine, you deserve half. You're the mother of my children. We're still very amicable. But I get it. He's greedy. But then he's also going through his own legal stuff. So who knows? Does he actually have the half? I don't know. Mr. Miller Magic says they've been separated for 10 years. Quiet as it's kept. So we get a better picture as to, or I shouldn't say a better picture because we really don't, because Kyle always talks in between lines. Cold. She's cold-hearted. And so Dorit, of course, is talking about what she's been going through with PK. And in the after show, it seems as if everyone's on the same page, that they feel as if that the things between Dorit and PK are actually over. Again, I don't know what they know, but it feels as if the cast all agree that they can see PK and Dorit getting a divorce. They mentioned the Fox Force flunkies during the after show because Jennifer Tilly was trying to explain why Bose might feel that Kyle is cold. Because she says even her coming into the group, they have their friends and they're not, she said they're not mean girls, but they have their friend groups and it's hard to kind of infiltrate that. Sutton was like, the Fox Force flunkies, they don't call it that, I call it that, are well and alive. Yeah, I believe that. The Fox Force flunkies, they may not be on the show, but they're still alive. Lisa Rinna, we don't care about you in a podcast, you and your husband. May they burn all the microphones. I got my microphone. May they burn all the microphones and camera lighting. I am so tired of all these damn podcasts. Even though I will say this in regards to podcasts that I've started listening to, like new ones. I really do enjoy Humble Brag with Crystal Kung Minkoff and Cynthia Bailey. It's a nice listen. When I was traveling, I was listening to a couple of episodes, and I've told you guys this before. It's actually really a nice listen. It makes me kind of like, damn, kind of want to see Crystal back. But anyways, I digress. Our mods say that we need to get to 850 likes. We're at 400. I will never understand, but I'm going to point it out. I will never understand how we could have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 the other day and not have the same amount of likes. Are you guys just hate watching? Like the video. It supports me, but it also supports you. Because I know some of y'all are fellow content creators that are here hate watching probably or taking notes for whatever reason. It's helping you so people can define you. Kay Avery says, not you enjoying cricket in regards to Crystal. Yes, we used to say that about Crystal, but that's how she was depicted on this show. I actually find her enjoyable on her podcast. Okay. Anyways, Angela, see, look, we're fair here. Look, Angela says, hold on, Angela. Angela says, I actually enjoy Reasonably Shady. Robin and Giselle are really funny. I mean, the clips that I've heard of Robin and Giselle, there have been a lot of colorist comments that they've made on that podcast. So that's another reason why I don't listen to them, but I also don't find them that enjoyable. But you're entitled. I'm just saying I personally don't find them enjoyable. Mr. Melon Magic, lies you tell. He said, no, I don't like the video because I'm distracted by your beauty camp. Lies you tell. Okay, Maria says, not hate watching. Must be, because why wouldn't you like the video? Just saying. At least if you're going to come in, dislike the video. We'll count that towards the total. All right. So they had that conversation. And then after they've been talking, commiserating about their separations and possible divorces, they do this dramatic 1 week later. And then there's a report, because you remember seeing the photos of Mauricio kissing this half-naked woman in Mykonos. He's not even with that woman anymore. He's with like all these other people now. I mean, he's living his best life. So this is a perfect segue to next week's episode. The group is going to react to Mauricio being caught out there, photographed kissing some other woman. Okay. Fine. All right. Let me change this, guys. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show returns this Friday to the Green Room 42. Get your tickets today. I just want to remind you, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC. Jan says haters are confused fans. Yeah. The opinions do not represent the opinions of myself, the sponsors, the Kempire LLC, et cetera, and everything that everyone says is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. See, Heather, it's okay. Heather says, my bad, Kemp. I always need to be reminded to like the video. I get caught up. So for those that get annoyed when I keep telling you guys, this is why. Because people need to be reminded. Because I get it too. I forget. And honestly, for the most part, I never watched something that I don't like. And I never dislike on YouTube. If I don't like you, I don't need to watch your video. I just go to the next video. So for those of you that spend time watching and disliking, that's sad. Just saying. All right. All right, let's get to our callers. All right, so they end the episode with the picture of Mauricio being photographed in Greece with this other woman. Okay, I'm guessing that relationship's over. They have not been seen together yet again. Sasuke says she was in a bathing suit. She probably was at the beach or pool and jumped in the car to go get him at the airport. Do y'all really do that? I guess maybe you'll do that. Okay. Carmela says reminding helps. I try. Jan says I never dislike. I click off because that's way worse. Exactly. Ad revenue. All right. Let's move on. Let me get to our callers. We got Miss Bernice backstage. We're going to bring Miss Bernice up first. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share about Beverly Hills?
What up, though, everybody? What up, though? I guess a couple of things. One, for when Dorit and Kyle finally talked, Kyle been going through this for longer than Dorito because Mauricio's acting crazy. He just doing in the light what he been doing in the dark these past 25 years.
Not all 25.
Okay. And Dorito looking at her like, oh, I understand. She been going through her divorce longer than you been going through yours. You should have more compassion for her. Come on now. And Bose, she lost me with that because as a child of an addict, you are predisposed to the addiction as a child. So you can, whatever situations of life, whatever you use to try to get you through those, you can be addicted to that. That's what people fail to realize. And that's why that's the boundary with Sutton. Don't go past this boundary. And Dorito keeps going past that boundary. And she don't understand. But other than that, it was a good show. Bose is losing me. But other than that,
okay.
Have a good one.
You too, Miss Bernice. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you to everyone that's liked the video. 547 of you. Keep liking. I have a long line of members. Shout out to our members, though. Our members, I save myself time if I just take my members, but I do want to give you guys, the general audience, an opportunity to call in. Keep liking the video. Keep telling your fellow folks that are watching to like the video as well. Hayat is backstage. We're going to bring Hayat up next. Hayat, what's going on? Still in the snow?
Kempire. Sorry?
Still
Am I
in-
still in the snow? Ooh, Kempire is a winter wonderland. So my cousins in Rwanda were telling me that there was a little snow there too, which I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, this is scary. But anyways, oh my God, Kempire, talking about twerking on a fence, that's me this whole live. You say something, I'm like, you're right about that. And then you say something else, I'm like, you're right about that too. I love Bozoma. I think she's great for the show. I just think this episode kind of showed that she really needs to just be silent about the things concerning Dorit and these women because it's really not her place to be speaking. I've never been the type to like open up to somebody so quickly. So I kind of understood why Kyle might not have gotten deep with her.
Yeah.
And maybe she got confused because Dorit did that so readily. But that's just not what everybody's going to be moving like. But I don't know. I think like there's no way I can't unsee it now. I think Bose has watched the show. And I think Bose is jumping on this Kyle train because of what she's probably heard Garcelle and other women have said about Kyle. Because I still haven't seen the coldness from Kyle for that to be said. And here's the thing. I do not like Kyle. So this is hard for me to say.
I think we all are struggling with this.
It's just, oh no. But anyways, great episode. And thanks again for this live.
Of course. I take care. Bye. I think we all are very challenged by this. Like, we don't want to defend Kyle, but okay. Shar says, as a fellow Capricorn, I get Kyle. See, O'Shea, we're going to bring up next. O'Shea, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I think I just want to say this about when Garcelle, defends Sutton. The only time that she really does it is when there's a gang up happening. And people forget, like, for at least 2 full seasons, it was 5 against 1 or 5 against 2 when the first 4 Funky was there, and that's when she used to get in. But I saw a compilation today on Twitter of people showing a lot of, Sutton's confrontations with everyone, and Garcelle was just sitting over there. I think she only does get involved when it becomes a gang up situation. Yeah. And I think today was a bit of an exception with her and Kyle because they just saw what had happened with, in Augusta and the father and so on. Yeah. But in any case, I don't like Dorit, and she can get it again and again and again, even if it's unwarranted.
Oh,
she can just, I really don't like her. Oh. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents there.
Thanks, O'Shea. Take care. Bye. Yes, I did see, and I meant to watch it myself, but someone did put together some of the videos of the moments where Garcelle was not being the spokesperson for Sutton. I don't mind it either or, because at the end of the day, a real friend, someone that you've actually connected with, is going to have your back. And like what some of you have already said, it's a lot of the times, we had the Fox Forest flunkies on this show where they all were going up against Sutton when Sutton came on. So, and Garcelle was also a newbie coming onto this. So that's also probably why they gravitated towards each other, because they're probably like looking at these folks and they're like, what is going on here? All right, let's bring up Amina next. Hold on, Amina. Amina, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I tried to like Bose. I really, really did. But this episode was the final straw because she really got me out here agreeing with Kyle. Kyle. Never in the history of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills have I ever agreed with Kyle. But yesterday I was like, leave Kyle alone. And I was like, no, Bose, this can't be happening to me. So and even the worst part is their interaction in the after show. Like their energy in the after show is so different to when you see Sutton and Garcelle. The energy is completely different. Yeah. Like Sutton and Garcelle, even when they talk about the girls they don't like, it's still light, it's still reflective, it's still
entertaining.
Kind of a place of positive. Yeah, entertaining. But when it's Bose and Dorit, it's like dark, it's icky. Dorit has like this smug look on her face every time Bose agrees with her. I just don't like the energy. And you know that saying, if you show me who your friends are, you show me who you are. And if your friends pick Dorit, that's really telling. And also, I really like Sutton's hissy fits. I think they're really entertaining and they're really camp and funny because it never gets dark like Heavenly or Marlo. It's always like it's like a little camp hissy fit. She says something ridiculous and then she's all right. So that's it.
Good point. Thank you, Amina. Take care. I agree. Y'all are, look, I get this is my community, but my community also knows that they could not agree with me. And I'm sure somebody back here doesn't. And if you do agree with me and you just want to agree with me to be funny, I'm okay with that too. Okay. All right. Let me bring up April next. April, what's going on?
Good afternoon, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm good, and this is perfect because I'm on my lunch break. Okay, so this episode was really good, and I feel Bose should have taken the approach that Jennifer's taking. She speaks up and, interacts with the group, but she knows how to stay out of the way. And I feel like she's not really doing that so much with Dorito. And so their bond is coming off as my acrylics that are fake. So that's what it's coming off as. And I feel conflicted, like Kendrick Lamar said, because I don't like Kyle either. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't like it. Stop it. But it was a really good episode, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, Kempire.
Thank you, April. Take care. Then 30 seconds. Okay. Let me restart the clock. We have Nia backstage and bring Nia up next. Nia, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you? I'm gonna try to make this quick.
Okay.
I don't really feel bad about the alliance. I have an unpopular opinion. I don't feel bad about the alliance with Bose and Dorit because if we notice, when Dorit met Bose, she spilled out her guts. If you were to ever meet somebody who will spill out your guts to you, you'll be like, okay, what is this going on? But it shows how vulnerable they are. And I'm going to be honest, even though she is stepping up for Dorit a lot, they do seem to be having a genuine relationship, but she speaks out too much. But that's her personality. She speaks out too much, and that's going to make her a target because then everybody's going to be like, so when do you shut up? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Sutton and Dorit were ever going to get along. It's because Sutton and Dorit were not made to get along. They were never going to be friends. And what Sutton said about her being mad that her divorce was clean and that everything else, Sutton's divorce wasn't clean because Sutton had to get a forensic accountant to basically prove that her husband was hiding money from her. So how did you have a clean divorce when you had to go?
In all fairness, I'm not saying that her divorce was clean, but it's smart no matter what kind of divorce you're going through to get one. No, but that is
smart, but that lets you know he was playing dirty to the point that you had to go get that. Because if he wasn't playing dirty, you would have known all that information up front. You had businesses in your name.
Nia, I understand that, but I think what she meant by clean is that she made out clean in the end. Okay.
Oh, well, if she meant it like that, I can understand that. But still at the same day,
no divorce usually is clean.
It never is. It's a business, like Erica said.
Yeah. All right, Nia. Thank you so much for calling in. Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to bring up Lee next. What's going on, Lee? What did you want to share?
Hey, how are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. I'm at Target picking up my order while I'm on the clock.
You're at Target? I'm sorry.
So the thing about it, I definitely agree with the previous caller saying that their friendship just developed quicker. So I understand why it's like she hasn't been able to, why she thinks that Kyle is cold, because Kyle isn't giving up the information like Dorit has, you know what I mean? And is Bozoma Aquarius? Mm-hmm. It really does make sense because that's how they are. Like when you meet an Aquarius friend, you are their best friend by day one. Like that's how it is. And I'm a Scorpio. You know, we don't give up no tea. So you know that. So it's like my Aquarius friend, literally the second day we were planning vacations. Like that's how like deep it was. So I really do get that. So it's like you're going from somebody who just spilled out their guts to you to somebody who's like, oh, I got you flowers, girl. You know, it's like, it's a nice gesture, but it's not the same. It's like not the same caliber. But that's really all I had to say. Also, I really do like Erica this season a lot. I don't know why, but she's just really down to earth.
She has no storyline.
True.
We're decorating her house.
We decorating her house, being fabulous. Love that for her.
And she's just being funny and fun, like when they did the Heisman thing.
Okay, see that, clock that. Okay, bye.
Bye, Lee. All right, we have Miss Esquire backstage. Bring Miss Esquire up next. Miss Esquire, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm in snowy Nashville today, so
yes. I think that snow's coming up this way.
Yeah, it's nice. It wasn't too bad.
Okay.
I think the thing that is perplexing me the most about this season of all of the storylines is Bose. I don't understand her and Dorit. And I really have spent more time than I should thinking about it because I'm like, of all the people that she would have related to on the show, I really thought it would be Garcelle. And not just because they are both Black women, not just because they are both women who are professionals in like white dominated spaces, but because they're also single mothers. Like there was just a lot there that I thought that they would relate to each other. Like Dorit is the least relatable to me to Bose in the terms of like Bose never went through a divorce. Bose lost her husband, became a widow. She's been raising her child by herself like since her child was an infant. She is a self-made, independent woman in every respect. Like she's not someone who relates, I think, a lot to Dorit's experience. And that's the reason why I'm like, was it a trauma bond at first? Or is it an alliance? Is she taking pity on her? Because again, we want the newbies to come in and give everybody a chance and find organic relationships. That is what makes them become a part of the group better and makes them last longer.
Yeah.
If you come into the group and you find immediate conflict with people, it just doesn't bode well, no pun intended, for you being there longer. And I would like her to be there longer. I just don't understand this relationship. And I hope Andy, I don't have a lot of high hopes, but I hope he kind of digs into that a little bit. His psychology, honey, is...
Drama.
We ain't gonna go to read for a different day. But okay, that's it.
Thank you, Miss Esquire. Have a good day.
You too, bye.
I do agree, because I do know quite a few Aquariuses. I do agree that, and Bose has said this, she has like 100 and something best friends. So they are easy to make best friends. And I think, because I also have a Cancer rising and I know a lot of Cancers, they're not easy to open up to anyone either. I think because Dorit came into the season saying, this is going to be my season, and she knew that Bose was new, she felt like, I have to perform. So that was the only reason why she opened up to Bose. It wasn't like she was just opening up because she's an open person, because she's not. And we've seen examples of that throughout the years. So I think she just did that because she's like, this is my season. And I've told you, week after week, we see so many different moments of Dorit coming into a scene, and then she's got to perform. She's got to make it about her. Like, oh my God, guys, you won't believe what Jagga said to me today. Like, she comes into every scene like that. And I think she came into that first scene like, oh, Bose is here. Bose, I'm going through so much. So I don't think it was genuine. And because Bose is like an Aquarius and they're easy to make friends and they're friends with everyone, blah, blah, blah. So we shall see. Anyways, Kookie's backstage. We're going to bring Kookie up next. Kookie, what did you want to share about Beverly Hills?
Hi again.
Hey.
I just wanted to say that I think Bo's affiliation with Dorit is a little creepy. It's just like, it doesn't give grown woman. Like, you two are grown women. Like, are y'all hunching? Like, what's going on? Like what is this? I like it that she has someone. And I think Bo's coming in new. I think it's like not wise to just kind of like attack other people all the time. It's just like every episode, here she goes. And I think it's like almost insufferable. But it's been really good. And I hate that, they made me defend Kyle too. Like, I hate that for me. And I'm an earth sign too. I'm a Capricorn. So I know that we earth signs, we ain't wishy-washy. We don't jump the bandwagon. We wait, we see, we feel it out. We have to feel it in our soul, okay? We don't play games with we don't do that best friend stuff. It took me 4 years to consider my high school mates like friends. I thought we were academic alliance. You had the homework one day and I had it the other day. So it's just like, we don't warm up to people too quickly. It's we can have alliances, but we're not friends. Okay?
Quiet as it's kept, I'm still reevaluating my high school friends.
I love that for you.
Thanks, Cookie. Have a good day. You think I'm joking? Brandy, we're going to bring up next. Brandy, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Good. I just want to say I like everybody and dislike everybody at the same time.
Same.
So, right. But Sutton is a hypocrite because they showed that flashback when Garcelle had asked her vodka in your coffee and she just laughed it off. And it would have served her so much better to just laugh it off with Dorit instead of making it a big deal.
But remember, that's her good best friend.
Right.
Dorit's not her best friend.
Huh?
Dorit's not her best friend.
Yeah, but she should have laughed it off though, still, instead of getting all upset and doing the typical Sutton, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Bose, as far as her and Kyle, she should have just told Kyle straight up, like, your actions is why I have these feelings about you. Instead of doing all that fancy talk, like, I'm an assessor, I assess the situation. Like, just say what it is simply for these people, you know? And also, I can see PK not talking to the kids for 2 weeks because, I mean, men do that. They feel like the kids are with the mom, so the kids are fine. Like, I can see that being realistic. And also, two comedic things that happened was Erica doing that Heisman pose, and when Kathy was in the confessional talking about don't make a mountain out of a molehill,
or is it a mountain
or a molehill out of a mountain? She was like, you know what I'm saying?
There were a few cute, funny moments. Thank you, Brady, for calling in.
Thank you.
Have a good one. All right, we have Keith backstage. We're going to bring Keith up next. Keith, what's going on? What did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. So yeah, I just wanted to say also, I didn't really believe the whole Dorit divorce situation. I think since both of us are earth signs, we're very analytical, and it's going to take a lot more than 3 months of you just saying, oh, our marriage is perfect in June, but now you're filing for divorce in September. It just seems completely played out. And I feel like once she got that warning from the producer that she was about to get fired, she was like, okay, let me see what I can do to secure my next season. Because we don't know what PK does. I mean, he manages Boy George, but really, who's checking for Boy George? Let's be honest. But other than that, I also think with Bose and Dorit, they didn't know about the alcoholism situation with Sutton at first. However, once they watched the playback, they still doubled down on it on the after show. So I'm like, after seeing that, you already came to the conclusion. You still stuck by what you said. So. You know, I can't even argue with that. And also, one last thing. As a Virgo, I have to come to Sutton's defense, okay? Because thing is, people love to play in Sutton's face, you know, and I think it's the Southern accent. Something about that accent gives very much, you know, you can play in my face. I won't do anything. I'm a Southern belle. But I'm glad that Sutton is checking them and letting them know, no, you're not going to play in my face. And Virgo, we're very defensive people, okay? We can kind of be very agitated real quickly if you try to come for us. So, you know, we always have a chip on our shoulder, but we always want to come back. But yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Keith. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
We got a lot of Virgos that follow the channel. Shout out to the Virgos. People be people, and thank you so much for the super chat. They say, as an Aquarius, we like weirdos and we like a project. We also do not like going with the crowd. Right or wrong, Bose is going to fight, and the harder they protest, the more Bose will defend her weirdo project. You really summed it up. Thank you, people be peopling. That makes so much sense. And that still going to make me judge her, but whatever. Dante says, if I'm beefing with you, don't make jokes like that in regards to Dorit talking about Sutton's drinking. Yeah, I think it's two different things in regards to when Garcelle said it versus when Dorit said it. Mind you, they literally have not been in a good place. All right. All right, we have Carrie backstage. I'm going to bring Carrie up next. Hold on. Carrie, what's going on?
Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. You know, I remember you said once to say your name and where you're from. So I'm Carrie and I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, I'm a good listener and I like rules.
What's your sign?
What's
your sign, Carrie?
What'd you say?
What's your sign?
Ooh, Sagittarius, which doesn't really line up.
Right? I was about to say.
I'm a Sagittarius sun, but I'm a Scorpio moon and an Aquarius rising.
You're a mess.
How did you know? Okay, I could talk about this with you for a long time, but
go ahead.
Yes, I like rules because I have ADHD and because I'm Sag, I'm all over the place. I forget things. That's why I love that you have an elephant memory because I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I don't remember at all. And Sag forgives really easily because we just want to move on.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, I just wanted to say, Sutton triggers me. Okay, Sutton reminds me of my mom, who is Scorpio sun and Scorpio moon. And she just cannot emotionally regulate. you know, like Sutton can't catch herself before she says something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that triggers. She also has a look in her eye that my mom's from Brooklyn. You're from Staten Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
She just gets a look in her eye where I'm like, oh no, I don't want to mess with her any longer, no matter what, you know? So I just would have liked if Sutton had said, like, she's a grown woman. I would have just liked if she had said, hey, I don't want you messing with that joke right now. We have issues. Like, I just wish she had expressed herself, but I know that's easier said than done. But I wouldn't be able to watch myself back on the show and not think, oh, I need to work on taking a breath before I effing react in someone's house. So that's that. But I'm not on anyone's side because, you know, Dorit is hard to like. We all have been saying that. So just, she's also very likable in other ways. But I do feel like the mom storyline was like a little forced. How did you feel about that? I didn't see the whole episode today.
You know, I'm not falling for Dorit and what she's trying to offer us this season at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I kind of fall for it, but like I said, I forget easily.
Okay, Dory. Carrie.
I know. Right? Oh, that's me. All right. Thanks, Kempire.
Bye, Carrie. Thanks for calling in. Oh, I love that. I also have a Scorpio mom and dad. Lucky me. All right, Adam's backstage. We'll bring Adam up next. Adam, what's going on? Adam, you're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, perfect. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Just living with this cold, miserable weather in London. But I can't with Beverly Hills. It's my favorite franchise, and it's really going 180. It's now becoming one of my least favorites, the way that this is going. But Bozoma is a mess. I had high hopes for Bozoma, but you're not this straightforward marketing supremo that I thought she was. She's a letdown. To go to a sister, I don't even know. Like, what is that? That's not someone who's straightforward. And to me, she's just up Dorit's, you know what? If you look in the after show, it's just like, yes, 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 and it was just like, when I saw Kyle do her impression of how Dorit is up Bose's behind, that was the best part of the whole episode. And
you went out, Adam. I lost you. Oh, there we go. Now I can hear you. Oh, it's like breaking up. Dorit got you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. Oh,
no.
It's breaking up. I can't hear you now, Adam. They see Dorit. You went up against Dorit. Hello?
But I don't know. Dorit and I just took my AirPods out. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. The AirPods never work well. I'll give you 20 more seconds. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you remember in that season a year or two ago where Dorit was like, I've got people from the Caribbean who work for us, and Garcelle's like, do they just do the work at home?
Yeah.
And she was just like, no, my mum's best friend is, and it was just like such a performance act.
Yeah.
Like, people seem to be forgetting who are calling Dorit a queen. She is far from a queen, and she needs to be off my screen.
We'll see after this season. Adam, thank you so much for calling in.
Take care.
You too.
Speak soon.
Bye. Fernando is backstage. We'll bring Fernando up next. Fernando, what's going on? Fernando. All right, so I got to drop Fernando out. All right, Maria's backstage. Maria, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Happy to catch another live.
Yes, how are you?
Hope you're good.
Yeah,
I just have a comment regarding Dorit. I think she's really trying to be that B this season and is not really playing well. And it kind of leads me into my question for you. Do you think Bose is being played by Dorit in regard? Oh, okay.
No. I think Bose is smart. I don't think Bose is being played. I think she is trying to play us.
Fair, because I feel like Dorit is latching on to Bose and doing everything she can to keep Bose on her side because it's kind of her trying to wash off that Karen effect that she's been given these past seasons. So hence why I asked that question. But as you said, I think Bose is smart enough to know, but it's like Bose is just not looking... She's not coming across like a sister. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just a bit too much in the rear end of Dorit sort of thing. But anyway, and lastly, Mama Garcelle, Auntie Garcelle, the fashions, dreadful fashions, darling. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say, but thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Take care. You guys are my people, okay? Veronique is backstage and bring Veronique up next. Veronique, what's going on? What did you want to share about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. All right, Scorpio here, California, Veronique. This whole season seems to be myopically filmed about Dorit, and especially this episode, and I'm going to tell you why, that Sutton was set up. And even though I don't care for Sutton that much, okay, she throws this party for the 4th of July. And poor Sutton's sitting down there for 40 minutes while she's upstairs and she looks out of her head. Okay, it's not about body jewelry or anything like that. Her eyes are popping out of her head. She finally shows up, and then she fixates on the photos for a while, which Kyle points out. But then the purse situation, I felt like I was out of my mind watching that. The way that she looked at Sutton's purse and then stared her straight in the eyes, she wanted to put her off. And she wanted to make her uncomfortable from the get-go. The delay, the coveting, the purse action, and then took it outside. And as soon as there was a little, jab from Garcelle about the drinking, she went in. And she knew it was going to go off. And then, of course, the whole thing was about her. So that's my summation, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Veronique. Take care. All right. I'm just gonna make sure. Oh, Abundantly Kina. Thank you so much. I was about to make a whole new name for you, Abundantly Kina. Abundantly Kina says, I wanted to like Bose, but you can always tell when someone joins with something to prove. I do think Bose planned to bond with Garcelle. Really? It's interesting. I'm still keeping an open mind. I am trying to keep an open mind, okay? Because I do think there are a lot of things that I do like about Bose. But like you all have said, we always bring it back to astrological signs. As an Aquarius, you Aquariuses do make friends very easily, and you like a project. And right now, Dorit is a project. But we shall see. Like, I'm still open. If they can maintain this level of a friendship for years to come, maybe we'll like it. Maybe we'll look at it and be like, they're fun. No. Bose seems like fun. Dorit seems boring, like a wet rag. Just sitting there. Like, there's nothing fun in between. We literally, in this middle of this fight, we see this banter between Sutton and Garcelle at under the foyer. Okay? This little banter about the drink and this and that. It's funny. We've seen so many funny. We went down to Augusta. Funny moments. I'm not getting that from Bose and Dorit's friendship. We might get that from Bose. I find Bose to be highly entertaining. Not Dorit. But anyways. You notice how all my accents changed? I'm just giving you Dorit throughout the entire Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap, okay? Thank you so much to everyone that liked the video. We had 652 likes. Can we get to 700? We have over 1,000 of you here. We appreciate it, and I'm sure thousands more will be watching the replay. Replay crew, be sure to let us know who you are, where you're watching from, your astrological sign, that you're part of the replay crew, and your thoughts on this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Don't forget, guys, this Friday I will be live here in New York City at the Green Room 42. So if you want a chance to meet me, get your tickets today. Or if you're not in New York City and you want to be a part of the show, get your live stream tickets. All that information is available in the description. Who's got their tickets? Let me know in the live chat. And if you're part of the replay crew, let me know if you've gotten your tickets, live stream tickets or in person. Let me know if I'm going to see you there. I will see you all Friday. Tomorrow, I am going to go live with the Brooke Ashley, so stay tuned for that. The link will be available soon. All right. Flipiana, what a name, says, it's giving a stale bag of Doritos. Watson says, I'm watching from DC and Aquarius gang. See? Are we in Pisces season yet? What date is it? We're about to be in Pisces season. Okay. Mama Allie's got her tickets. All right. Ooh. Sorry. There'll be a lot of that at the Kempire After Dark live show at the Green 42, guys. Again, more information will be available in the description with everything Kempire, including our podcast, okay? So make sure that you guys get your tickets and make sure you check out that. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, what are you doing? You're missing out. All right, subscribe today and don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Deborah's got her live stream ticket. Mama Allie's got her live stream ticket. Chloe's got their live stream ticket. Love it. All right. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to KempireRadio.com.